We all know na sa PBA marami ng gwardya and karamihan ng naglalaro yung nakakakuha ng maraming minutes. Puro mga veterano and not necessarily a lot of room for younger guards to shine and develop and get their chance. Pero despite na maraming guards sa PBA, hindi kadalasan na merong combo guard na may decent size, international experience, and shot creation potential na nasa isang package lang, and yun si Juan Gomez de Leaño. Si Juan Gomez de Leaño ay isang combo guard who last played in Korea. Last couple of years niya, he spent sa Korea. He also played in Europe briefly. And a lot of fans have him sa draft na to as the number 1 pick. At isa na ako dun. Pero unfortunately, yung mga teams, they might focus on the red flags more instead of the talent and potential na meron siya. So today, paggagawin natin yung kabaliktaran. Let's look at his game, his strengths, what makes him the number 1 pick. And let's briefly go over na rin kung ano na ba yung red flags na yon. At kung valid ba yon or it's just another old school mindset sa mga basketball minds, quote-unquote, today. So for basics, si Juan Gomez de Leaño, according to his B-League measurements, he is a 6'1" combo guard. Naglaro din siya para sa UP dito a few years ago, sa PBA D-League din, sa 3x3, and naging part na rin siya ng ilang Gilas teams nung pandemic era. So he's a legit player na meron ng experience internationally and locally. Last season niya sa KBL with SK Knights, he played 36 games, played roughly 8.5 minutes per night, in which he averaged 3.2 points, 1.5 rebounds, and 1.1 assists per game. Numbers may look, low, pero if we contextualize this, 8 minutes lang yung nalaro. And iba yung competition level sa B-League tsaka sa KBL. So iba yung standards kumpara sa PBA at sa KBL. Yung Kiefer na almost MVP level sa Pilipinas, pag dinala mo sa KBL, is still a very good player, pero yung numbers mas mababa considerably kasi 10-minute quarters lang and mas mataas na yung level of competition. Going back to Juan, in terms of his percentages, he shot 43.2% from the field and 32.3% sa 3-point area. Medyo mababa in terms of true shooting percentage, only 48.8%. Pero that doesn't tell the whole story kasi low volume siya, low minutes. And for a guard na kung familiar kayong lahat ng college and even sa PBA D-League briefly, medyo high volume scorer siya. And hindi naman yan bad thing kasi yung stint niya sa Korea, natutunan niya kung paano maging low volume player. He learned how to play off-ball more kumpara sa mga previous stints niya, especially nung nasa Pilipinas siya. Anyway, in terms of his career KBL stats, 2 taon, 53 total games, only around 9 minutes per game again. Nasa ganung ballpark. Sa 9 minutes na yon, he averaged 3.7 points, 1.6 rebounds, and 1.3 assists per game. 44.8% from the field and almost 31% from 3, which was 17 out of 55 total 3-pointers. So since numbers lang naman niyang mga yan, hindi enough to argue, kailangan pa rin natin i-contextualize. Ganyan naman lagi, numbers and film hand in hand. So let's look at his catch and shoot game. Last year sa KBL, he was mostly a secondary ball handler for SK Knights. That meant, besides his pick and roll game, naging prevalent din yung spot-up opportunities for him kasi nga off-ball siya eh. Actually, sa season na yon, 18.8% ng possessions niya were spot-ups. Third most sa lahat ng play types for him. Dito makikita natin sa play is going to be off-ball initially. Good 45 cut here sa opposite side pero na-clock ng defense. So nag-relocate siya sa corner. His teammate drove middle. Hindi maganda rotations ng kalaban sa scramble. Flat-footed yung big nila. Naging 2 versus 1 yung side nila. JGDL. So kung ikaw si 34 ang read mo rito, if the defense is na kay 1, you spray out sa wing and then mag-extra pass papunta kay 1 if the defense helps. Pero if kagaya dito, you spray it out to 1. Wide open 3-pointer. At kung uulitin natin yung clip, kung gusto ko lang i-point out dito yung activity and yung willingness niya to immediately camp sa corners, not stand around, be available. Anyway, second clip, honestly, we can only assume what happened here. Pero it seemed like, initially nakita ko, merong spacing issue na nangyari na parang double staggered screen to dun sa nasa corner and one was supposed to be on the other side. So instead, nasirahin niya yung rhythm ng play and magsayang ng 5 seconds. One, immediately went to the ball. Parang naging uphill dribble handoff. So as we can see, yung spacing naging empty side 2-man game na sa side nila. And then yung kabila naman spaced out na. So very smart move from him. Very aware of his surroundings. So the defender willingly went under. Jab step pang measure ng defense. Pull up kasi hindi fully nag-commit. That's going to be the theme here. Lagi naka-under yung defense sa kanya. Again, dito, willingly nag-under. And walang spacing since nasa gitna ng court yung big fighting to get a switch. Hindi niya nakuha. So, ginawa ni Juan dahil walang driving lane. He gave the ball up. Spaced out well. And again, yung defense, for some reason, iniiwan siya. Wide open ngayon si Juan sa top of the key and he made it. Dito naman, we can see it's the classic top ball screen. Si Juan nag-lift sa roll side to pull the defense away. Ang tawag dito, lift. Walang defense na nagpa-pull, so ibig sabihin nun, open siya sa kick out. By the way, 32.3% sa tres si Juan last season with SK Knights, so he wasn't that bad sa department na yan. I would say pa nga na asset yan going into the draft, na kaya niya maging solid off-ball guy. Kasi alam naman natin sa PBA, unfortunately, laging vets ang priority. Kumbaga, meron ng pangalan si Juan dito sa Pilipinas, especially sa mga, kilala siya na medyo eager umiscore. Kumbaga, let's just say it that way. So ngayon, na natutunan niya sa Korea, maging off-ball guy, I think it's an asset. And he can play alongside those veteran guards na hindi mababawasan ng minutes, unfortunately. Because ganun sa PBA. And alis naman tayo sa off-ball, punta tayo sa on-ball. Pagdating naman sa pick and roll ball handler plays, kahit na secondary siya, ito pa rin majority ng play types niya with 28.5%. And let's talk about how he creates off these situations. Dito, first few clips, naka-under ang defense. At ginagamit niya yung coverage na yun to gather momentum and get downhill. Dito makikita natin, empty side ball screen, defender went under. So merong space si Juan para mag-gather and gain ng momentum. Nag-hang dribble siya briefly to read the defense. Naka-drop kasi, tinitignan niya kung mag-show ba yan or mag-stay attached dun sa screener. Nakita niya na walang show, so he attacked instead. Dito same thing pero no need for a hesi kasi mataas na yung drop. Halos nasa level na ng screen around the 3-point area so kaya niya nang talunin to gamit ang foot speed. Dito naman no resistance whatsoever so nag-gather siya ng momentum to get up and finish over the late help defense. Again, the defender went under so Juan used his speed and eventually his size to bully his way to the rim ala Mark Kagiwa. Pero again, as we established earlier, numbers may not reflect it pero Juan is a decent shooter naman. If palaging go under ang kalaban, he can occasionally pull up and shoot 3-pointers or mid-ranges. Unfortunately, it was only 26% dyan pero that's part of his game pa din and he can polish pa yung skill na yan along the way sa PBA. And PBA din naman mababa ang standard sa shooting so I think that will work. Dito naman, defender went over the screen para maiba naman. Pinakita ko kung paano pag nag-go over ang defense. May onting show from the big kasi nag-go over eh. Basically, free lane yan. So, kailangan talaga mag-show ng big. So, yung hang dribble na ginamit niya to pound the ball, hesitation, nag-react yung defense. So, nag-open up yung lane for him to attack na walang help kasi nag-recover yung nag-show na big sa tao niya because of the pound or the hang dribble. Pero sometimes, ang downside, he gets too eager to score and make things happen. This is expected for younger guards. So, right now, bigay muna natin yung benefit of the doubt pero isa to sa mga weaknesses na takot yan yung reservations nila kay Juan. And unfortunately though, I have a hunch na yung executives or mga nagsascout sa PBA matatakot sila with this kind of stuff, especially yung shot creation. Pero I don't know, we never know, di naman natin alam. Sana hindi. Personally, I think pagdating naman sa PBA, doesn't really matter that much anymore. Naalala ko yung scene sa Moneyball, yung nasa room sila, na kung ano-anong mga shenanigans yung basehan sa scouting and unfortunately, nangyayari pa rin yan ngayon. Teams often overlook talent kasi masyado nagfo-focus sila sa red flags which is, hindi naman laging nagmamaterialize. For guys like, Will Gozum and Juan Gomez de Leaño, sila yung players na talent-wise and potential-wise, diba? Really up there. Pero teams might pass up on them kesyo ganito, kesyo ganyan, ganito. Diba? Remember when Arvin Tolentino nalaglag sa first round, kesyo work ethic, attitude, yada, flat foot, mabagal, ganito, ganyan. Pero diba, anong nangyari? Exactly. Hindi rin naman talaga naging issue in the long run. So, ayun. Yan yung mga gusto kong i-point out, mga gusto kong ipakita, gusto kong i-share about sa game ni Juan Gomez de Leaño and why I think one of the better options, if not the best, guard options sa draft na to. Yes, Dalf Panopio exists, Jason Brickman exists, pero I have Juan Gomez de Leaño over them just because of the potential and the talent and the experience.